Okay, good morning, everybody. Clearly, you knew what was going on, and Vic has succeeded. Did I suddenly go quiet? Okay. Um, we're a little late, but I think we'll be okay because we've been under the last couple of times. So let's begin with our moment of silence and then we'll get started. All right. So we do have a new resident who is here today. John Russell, would you stand up and wave? Oh, he's up front. Welcome to Ken. And here comes Adam.
Good morning. Everyone hear me okay? Couple of updates. One, I have my cup. So that's good. It's great. Great job. Thanks for doing that. Same cup for, I think, 16 years, actually. Additionally, just a little update. I am officially a Lexington resident. We had our move last week, so we're happy to be here. Family settled in. We're just got boxes everywhere, but that is good. A couple of updates for you regarding the apartment building air conditioning and heating. We did have a mechanical engineering firm here last week on Tuesday who evaluated the whole system. We're anticipating a report in 3 weeks. Once we see the results of the report, we'll share the information with you. So we did make a little bit of progress there. Some of you may have seen Stephanie's email, but we've started to send out an invitation for opportunities to get to know each other a little bit better through a coffee, social, or a lunch. If you're interested in signing up for that, there are 2 dates that still have some availability on the 27th and 29th of August. And if we need to open up more dates, we're happy to do that. And that's just an opportunity for me to get to know all of you a little bit better. So I'm looking forward to that. And of course, I'm not going to steal Stephanie's thunder, but we got to, hopefully it's not thunder, weather joke. But we do have looking forward to tomorrow's event. So does anyone have any questions for me about these things or anything else I can help you with this morning? All right, I'm going to turn it right over to Felicia. Thank you.
Good morning, all. Can you all hear me? Okay, great. I'm just going to give you the same old spiel that I typically do in August, but doing it a little bit early, and it's on the budget. So as you know, every year we ask for resident input on the capital budget, and that will be the case. You will get in your mailboxes and electronically a 1 sheet of paper asking for if you've got any requests for capital items. The only change, and it's really not a change in the process, is the capitalization minimum. In the past, we always capitalized stuff that was over $1,000. And with the finance committee, we decided that was really a low threshold, and we decided to change that to $5,000. So if you've got items that are $5,000 or more, and the request can come from the individual residents, but also committees and things. So if there's something that the resident committee would like to submit, they can do that. And I'll get those out the beginning of August. You'll have like 3 weeks to complete them. And then you'll hand them back to administration. You can bring them to our office. You can put them in the mailbox over by Karen's office. And then we'll compile all those requests. And then they're submitted to the Residents Association that then prioritizes those requests. There again, like I said, no other changes on that. And this is for the capital request. If you've got any operation suggestions, you can also put that on the forms. But typically with the operations, a lot of times I know in the past people would put things for operations, but it was more like they wanted something fixed. If you need something fixed or something's wrong, put in a work order and we can get that taken care of. Any questions about, yes, Ted?
I hope I can assume that I can put something in and if it's really a $2,500 thing, go.
Okay, so Ted's question was, he doesn't really know exactly how much these items cost, and it might be only $2,500. That's true. Put anything in, and then we'll go from there. And if we feel like, yes, it's something, then it can be incorporated into the operating budget, if that makes sense. Any other questions? Okay, thank you all, and submit your stuff.
Okay, tomorrow is officially 25 years of Kendall at Lexington. I'm excited. I hope you all are. We'll save all the sentiment for tomorrow and I'll just kind of do business today. So I know a lot of you had questions about the event. So I'm going to try and touch on some of those points real quick. First of all, the party is from 6 to 8 tomorrow. In the courtyard, we do have a tent. The weather is going to be perfect. We're all going to believe that it's going to happen. It's just going to be perfect. There will be 4 people making speeches. That'll start around 6:30. So if you're planning to come for just speeches and not the rest of it, 6:30. That will end with a champagne toast. Otherwise, we'll have a string quartet playing, food catered by Lexington Catering Company, and just mingling. There's no dress code. Come as you are or wear something special. It's up to you. There will be a professional photographer. You can ask him to snap a picture. I've asked the news station to come, so just keep that in mind. And otherwise, the weather is going to be perfect. Are there any questions about the event? It's going to be perfect. It's going to be perfect. And if it's raining just a bit, that's the reason we have a tent. All right, I'll pass it on to Chris and he'll tell you about our trip to Oberlin.
Thank you, Sarah. Hi, everybody. So I recently had the opportunity to travel to Oberlin, Ohio with Sarah for a Kendall marketing gathering. I know some of our Lexington residents have already visited Oberlin before, but if you have not, it is a very charming, quiet town that really reflects the spirit of the Kendall organization. The many ponds were especially peaceful. The geese were very charming. Though I will say, the many geese droppings were a little less charming. So a big shout out to our amazing grounds crew. Your work is truly appreciated. The gathering brought together marketing teams from across the Kendall system. It was a great chance to exchange ideas and strengthen connections. One of the highlights was a speed networking exercise that helped us quickly share insights to get to know our peers. It was a fun, high energy way to kick off meaningful conversations. We also heard about several successful marketing events hosted at other communities. One standout example was a Beyonce album release party. It not only brought in a crowd, but sparked conversation and connection across generations. Events like that reminded us how creative engagement can breathe new energy into community life while still aligning with Kendall's values. Sessions throughout the gathering covered a wide range of topics, including sales trainings, strategies for keeping waitlist members engaged, and building a more intentional, goal-driven marketing plan. We also explored how to strengthen our owned and earned media strategy to share Kendall's story more effectively and with a wider community. Another key takeaway, and possibly the most important takeaway, was the emphasis on Quaker values, a thread that runs through every aspect of the organization. Learning how these values guide not just operations, but also communication and branding gave us a deeper context to our work, and reminded us of the importance of authenticity in everything that we do. Thank you so much, guys. I've got Kevin with some more marketing updates for you.
All right, since the last Residents Association meeting, Chris and I have had 15 tours, tryouts, and meetings with people from New Brunswick, New Jersey, Keller, Texas, he just moved in, McLean, Virginia, Williamsburg, Norfolk, Crozet, Charlottesville, Roanoke, 2 groups from Stanton, 1 from Natural Bridge, and 4 different sets of prospects from Lexington, Virginia. That resulted in 2 new waitlist memberships. Chris sold both of them, so good job, Chris. They were from Corvallis, Oregon, and Crozet, Virginia. So those 2 new waitlist memberships bring us year to date to 26 new waitlist memberships. Overall total 227, and 69 of them say they are ready now. Lee told you about John Russell's move-in earlier this month, and our upcoming move-ins include July 31st, Nancy Englander from California will move to apartment 125. August 7th, Ann Riffy Buckner from Lexington to apartment 205. On September 10th, David and Melissa Cox from Lexington to cottage 1003. And on September 25th, Bill and Zora Jenkins from Lexington to apartment 3. And that's everything that we have. We remain now for the 12th consecutive month, 100% occupied or reserved for occupancy. That is it for marketing.
Good morning, everyone. How are you? All right, so a couple things. Our celebration is tomorrow. You've heard that a couple times today, but a reminder that we don't have dinner tomorrow night because we're at the celebration, but lunch will be open until at least 2. If we're still busy, we'll stay open a little longer. So we'll do that. So today, my focus is we've been meeting a lot with sustainability and trying to sort through. You've got your mugs today, but it's not just the paper mugs, it's all of the plastics and the compostable that's not exactly compostable, those kind of things. So I wanted to update you on what we're working on and what we're doing. So all of the black plastic plates that you've seen at some of our catering functions that we used to use at desserts, those things, they've all been removed and stuck into the closet. It's a very special closet. It is. It's a special closet. It's our emergency closet. We are required to have 3 days of emergency paper supply on hand. We now have 4 to 5 days, but we're going with it. So it is all stuck away. We will only use it in an emergency. And if we never have an emergency, it will still be there because it's plastic. So we're working on that. You may have noticed we ordered China dessert plates. We've ordered some more soup bowls. In Borden, we ordered new coffee mugs and some other bowls to replace some of the plastics. And so we have a cereal bowl. So we're working and evaluating on all of those things that we need more of so we can avoid using any of the paper plastic stuff. With that said, if any of you have dishes or know anyone who has dishes, feel free to bring them back. We won't pay any attention to it. We'll just be thankful for them. We're also, Michael is working on researching new actual compostable containers. So our to-go boxes are semi-compostable. They're not really plastic, but they're not really compostable either. So we're working on that, and he's getting samples in, and we're going to work on a plan to kind of do it with everything that we've got. So that's coming, and we'll see. There's a lot. We have a lot. If you look in our grab and go cases, you know, we have plastic bags that our sandwiches are in. So can we find a compostable product, something that we can use that would be more effective than just continuing to use that? So we're working on it. Having said that, there are limitations to what we can do. So we're in this wonderful plastic-free month, and we have this amazing celebration tomorrow, and we're going to have all plastic cups. because I don't have that many wine glasses, nor do we have a place to store them or rent them or those kind of things. So there are limitations, but we are working through whatever we can to try and eliminate that process. On a positive note, you're not going to have plastic plates. So the caterer is going to provide plastic plates, but our team here, Sarah and Sharon, they have ordered sugarcane plates. And if you don't know what sugarcane plates are, they are a compostable plate. They're made with sugarcane, so they break down really easily. They're actually really pretty compared to, so if you've seen the plates out here, they're a true compostable plate, but they look like a paper plate. They're stronger, but they look like a paper plate. Sugarcane are nice and smooth. You can do different shapes with them. So we are at least trying tomorrow to have as plastic-free a month as possible. All right, I think that's it on my sustainability stuff that we're working on. Does anyone have any questions?
The sugarcane plates sweeten the food.
No, but I think the food's going to be delicious. So you're not going to need it sweetened. All right, well, enjoy, and we will see you later. Thanks.
All right, good morning. Can you hear me okay? All right, I'm just going to go down my list of updates and I'll take any questions or omissions or heckling at the end. Sunnyside HVAC project is done, other than some minor punch list items. So if you may remember, that building had 8 air conditioning zones and some of the rooms shared. We put in a new updated system and now it's 10 zones. So each guest room has its own and they won't fight each other or turn their neighbor's air conditioning off anymore and things like that. A couple minor punch list things, and due to the way the building was originally constructed, there's now some visible refrigerant lines and things like that in corners of the room. Kenny will be going in there and building chases around some of that. So we have some in-house cosmetic work to do, but the new system is in and complete other than some minor punch list items. Sunnyside roofing, the actual roofing work is done as well. They are supposed to come back next week to finish up the snow guards and the gutters, but the actual infrastructure of the new roof is completed over there as well. Sycamore roofing project, same thing, completed other than some punch list items and some in-house things that we'll be touching up behind that. Adam already talked about the VRF project. The fitness center HVAC is still on order. It is scheduled for arrival end of this month. So hopefully only a few more weeks till we can get started installing the new equipment to run the AC down there. The fire marshal was here last week. We haven't gotten his report yet, but written report, but based on his verbal checkout with us, we think we're going to get a clean inspection with no violations, which is the first time ever in the history of Kendall. So well, it hasn't come yet, so we'll see, but fingers crossed on that. We have a new preventive maintenance position that's been funded, interviewed, offered, and accepted. He's supposed to be starting in a few weeks. He won't be doing preventive maintenance at first. I'm going to hand him over to Dave and say, do maintenance with all the maintenance guys so you learn what the property is and what's here and what's where and things like that. Then once he's up to speed and knows all things Kendall facilities, he will be doing all of what I call 10 and 20 level preventive maintenance. So he will be the one who goes residence to residence for belts, for filters, for things like that. A lot of stuff that doesn't get done right now until it breaks. So he's going to have a giant Excel spreadsheet for all the preventive maintenance work across the basically residential equipment across the property. The iterative pressure washing project we do wrapped up last week. This year's cycle was Borden, so they were here 2 or 3 days and finished up Borden. That is, I think, a 5-year rotation that I've got built, and the last part is Sycamore for next year, and then we'll start that cycle over again with pressure washing. The window washing guy, we had some pretty big disconnect and no-shows in the fall. We did it again in the spring. Now we're looking to try to engage in the fall after mowing season. We made contact, but I don't want to put him out in the middle of mowing season because he'll clean all the windows and then we're going to come behind it with the leaf blower and undo everything he just did. So we're looking right now to get that scheduled in the fall like we had done a couple years ago. The new fire alarm system work from ATC is progressing. You may remember that's almost a year-long project. They have completed the new fire alarm hardware in Sunnyside, in the cluster cottages, in Fitness, and they're partway done some of the areas of the south as well. So that is progressing. And you've heard me talk about elevators for a couple of years. I have another company that showed up and is working up their quote to take over our elevator maintenance and our elevator refurb. So the company, who you may remember, promised a 6 or 8 month project. It took over 2 years and lots of other hiccups like that. I found a competitor who's willing to come to us in Lexington and do work. I haven't gotten their quote yet, but we'll see what they come back with. I may have a better way forward than what we've been doing with our elevators so far. That is my list. What did I miss? Any questions or anything for me? Yeah, don't matter. Go ahead.
In the advocate that we had possibly stolen HVAC air conditioners. What can you tell us about that?
Some of the portable units that y'all have seen disappeared. We looked around in-house, talked to some folks. At that point, told the sheriff, said, hey, petty larceny, do what you got to do. So yes, some of the no one like sawzalled out an air conditioning unit of the building or anything like that. It's the small $500 portable units. A couple of them disappeared. So after we finished our in-house stuff, that got reported appropriately to outside law enforcement. Okay. Yes.
Years ago, we were asked not to run our washing machines and dryers and dishwashers except at 10 o'clock at night or on weekends. Has the North Apartment building made that less critical? In other words, can I do laundry?
Did y'all hear her question? Do I need to repeat the question? You know, that has to do with our time of day rates. So yes, the portable air conditioners and the portable space heaters have absolutely nuked our demand limiting efforts that we've done for the last several years. We set a new demand ratchet well over 800 kilowatts. We were down at 720. We pay a fee per month per kilowatt based on whatever that highest one is. What we do now with our washers and dryers and routine things is not going to get us back up over that new spike. So it won't affect our demand spike that we pay. However, our energy costs do still matter in terms of the kilowatt hours, not the kilowatt spike. Electricity you use during the day is more expensive than electricity we use at night, aside from the demand ratchet. So there is still an incentive to try to use those off-peak hours if you can. I'm going to tell you kind of the same verbiage I've told people all along. You know, if you have to use the stuff, you use what you have to use. If you can adjust and use it when it's more economical to us, which is the weekends and the evenings and holidays, that helps and we appreciate that. But I'm not going to say absolutely not. You can never do laundry on a Tuesday afternoon. If you have to do your load of laundry on Tuesday afternoon, you can do it. We ask if you're able to adjust your schedule. It helps us control our costs. It still does that. It won't change our demand rate, but the cost per kilowatt hour is still more during the day than it is at night, which is very different than all of us at our private residences we used to have, right? You have a meter and they read it once a month and they subtract A from B and charge you per that. We have time of day rates. Ours is more complicated. So that was a long, complicated answer. I hope that addressed it. All right, there was another quick, yes, Bruce.
Big Sunnyside projects behind you. Is that property now in pretty good shape? No major investments?
No. there are still a lot of things to do. There's some floor refinishing. There's a lot of painting and things like that. I will say major system work is done. Infrastructure systems, those were the two that we knew we had to do. But there is still a lot of, it's beyond maintenance and appearance issues. There's still a lot of valid upkeep and upgrades and just cyclical fixes that have to be done, interior and external. But the main equipment-based ones, those are the two. Any other questions or anything for me? Yes, sir.
At the same time, through there, we put all over the court. Someone put a flag display on the wall. So those folk were one of the positive factors that I looked at for the so after, you know, what's going to be put to replace the full court and what
Okay, I'm going to do a quick summary of this question. I'm not sure everybody could hear it. The question was about when we were replacing and upgrading the fire system, some of the nurse call pull cords were removed as well. And y'all should remember, I hope, the emails and traffic and discussions on that in the past. The existing, what I'll call the legacy nurse call system, when it was put in, it was actually tied to the fire alarm system. So it uses the same communication board, same communication hardware as that. That's a cost saving measure. But what that means is anything you need to do to either of those systems, you have another company you have to coordinate with who says, well, we don't do that. And why are you bothering us? And it basically made those two systems, once you put it in, you could not change, swap out. It was very difficult to get anything done with them. That's why the decision was made to separate the nurse call system from the fire alarm system. One goes through its own communication. The other one now will go through its own communication system when it's done. When we started looking at that, we looked at the data with the health services folks and IT and everyone else. Well, how much are these used? What are all the other Kendalls doing? What are some of the best practices that we're trying to duplicate? And what we found that the IL pull stations, not in the latrines, not in the bathrooms, had, gosh, it was over 95% of the calls were our periodic tests. They were almost never used outside of the bathrooms. And then we talked to other Kendalls, and most of them said, we don't even offer them anymore. They're not even part of that. So we had a couple town halls and discussions on that, and everyone still has a pet. So the pet is the primary nurse call thing that we encourage you to use and have with you all the time. We left them in the bathrooms thinking that, well, you know, if someone's using the shower or something like that, they're probably not wearing their somewhat waterproof pet, right? They somewhat, that's probably generous, mildly water resistant. I don't know how we want to describe them. That could be a fall. That's the one place that's most likely to maybe need it, and the other safety mechanisms might not be adequate. The track record doesn't show that. There just aren't a significant number of those incidents happening, but we left them in the latrines anyway at that point. What we have told people, if you have individual specific concerns for your circumstances in your apartment, let us know, and we can work with you and talk about putting some others back in there. We took them out because we just thought it's extra complexity, extra units, and it just muddies the water on the existing system without historically really showing any usage of it. So if you have specific concerns, you can talk to us or the health services folks, and we'll talk to you about that. Did I answer your question? Okay. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, so just a little piece of clarification there. So when we started the project, we said we're going to leave the pull cords in the bathrooms, right? In all of IO. What we found was we've got a lot of old hardware in the bathrooms as well. So ATC is going through and they're removing all of the pull cords, including the bathrooms. We are going to be coming back and putting in the new pull cords with the new system, but there will be this small gap in between. So just, you know, it's important to know that keep your pets, you know, for this period, that they won't be in the bathrooms. So hopefully that clarifies that, and that's what we tried to send out in the most recent email. So.
Yeah, that's a good clarification, because we did find a mix of wired and wireless ones, so we had to take out a lot of the old ones, even though there'll be one in that physical location when we're done. That's correct. All right, anything else for me? All right, thank you, and Adam's next.
Only one Adam today. Oops, wrong way. Whoop. Good morning. My name is Amanda Bartley. I'm the nurse manager in Webster. For those of you that don't know me, I'm gonna do a little presentation about Webster. I've been at Kendall for 7 years. I started out at the Borden Center and worked there for 3 years. And I've been in Webster for 4 years in my position. What drove me to Kendall was person-centered care. I'm very passionate about it. I feel that my team's passionate about it, and I think that here at Kendall, we're very passionate about it. Webster has 20 apartments. 19 of those are individual apartments. We do have one couple's apartment. 3 of our apartments have sunrooms. All of our apartments have little miniature kitchenettes, so you can still have meals in your room. You can also come out to our country kitchen. I don't know if any of y'all have come to Webster. We do have open houses. We have our Festival of Trees each year. Let's see. Sorry, I can't read this. A lot of the concerns is, will I lose my independence? That's one of the big hangups I hear about coming to Webster. You do not lose any rights when you come to Webster. You have the same rights in IL as you do in Webster. You can still come to resident association. You can still drive. You can still have pets. You can still have your same doctor. You have the same freedom you have in IL as you do in AL. The second concern I have when they say, I don't want to move to Webster because the size of those rooms are terrible. Well, you'd really be surprised what you can fit in these rooms. I've seen just crazy, remarkable things go into these rooms. Once you have couches, armoires, dressers, computers, tables, beds. And one of our Quakers' values is simplicity. So what a better time to downsize. And when you start going through your things, you will be surprised of what you do not need. The perks of moving to Webster is help. We all need help. Lots of times people don't think they need help, and then when they get over there, they're like, I'm so glad that I came over here. I didn't realize that I needed this help. If you're one that you're finding that you are struggling with taking your medicine, you're struggling with making doctor's appointments, mobility, maybe you're stumbling around in your apartment, or even making meals for yourself. If it's minimal help, if it's more help, all those things are what we can help you with. Also fun. We love to have fun in Webster. I'm telling you, they go on so many trips. I'm kind of jealous myself. I mean, they went to breweries, wineries, safari park, the museum in Roanoke. They have all kinds of activities. You can still do activities here. You can come out to wine and conversation hour. Like I said, you have all the freedoms you want. I have residents that go on week-long vacations. So your life doesn't stop just because you move to Webster. What it is it's an added incentive because you get the help that you need, but you're still living your life and you're not having to do laundry or prepare meals, take your trash out. You're living your life. Or if you need help with me making your doctor's appointments for you, I'm going to help you with that. Whatever needs you need, I'm there for you, and so is the staff, 24/7. What you really gain by moving to Webster is peace of mind for you and your family, a supportive team, a well-seasoned team, 24/7. If you can't sleep or you're not feeling well, we'll reach out to the doctor for you. If you fall, we're there for you. Press a pet, pull a cord, yell, we're there for you. Safety, connections. A lot of people come over there and they reconnect with friends or make new friends. We have a great coffee club. A lot of my residents are here and they can attest to it. Some of them sit there for hours after breakfast just conversating and just having a good old time. But I encourage you to come over and take a tour. See me, see one of the great marketing staff, see Sheridan. Join our wait list, please. And don't wait too late, because so many times people wait so late And it's a disservice to them because they end up having a major injury and they skip the steps. And that's why we moved to the continuum. So we could go through all these steps and it makes your life better. It makes you happier, healthier. And you wait too long and you end up with a major injury and you end up in Borden and you skip Webster. You skip out on all the fun. So thank you so much for listening. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, I see a lot. All right, I'll start with Susie. Yes, I did. Sorry, I skipped that slide. It's very minimal. I think you're charged like for one more meal a day. And if we administer your medicine, it's like $1 per bubble pack. So very small compared to peace of mind. I see my money ladies talking.
So monthly fees does not change. What you are charged are for is your 2 additional meals, which is $12 a day. Your resident care agreement includes 1 meal, but we have to provide in assisted living. Even if you cook your own meals, we have to provide regulation-free meals. So you will be charged for those 2 additional meals. But for medication administration, that's only for food.
Right. I think like if they go through Lexington Prescription Center, like the bubble packs is like $1. If they change that, that's where I get the $1 from. Yes. I appreciate that. But we want that secret out. All right. So you can, like I said, you can talk to me, Sheridan, the marketing team. You could come over and take a tour and we add your name to it. And then when we have rooms open up, we're going to call you and say, we have this room opened up. Are you ready to move to Webster? And if you're not, then we'll just kind of move on down the line. But it's good because, you know, your health needs change. And sometimes people wait too late and then we're booked up and we're full. And then people have had to go to Borden and kind of wait for the room to open up. So it's good to be on the wait list because if we don't know that you're interested and we don't know what your health situation is and your needs, then we won't know to call on you.
Focus specifically on memory care.
Okay.
So increasingly, a lot of them need people like us is memory care, not physical care. So help us understand the memory care continuum at Kendall with respect to Webster and Borden. So, you know, how does one enter that continuum if the need for memory care is there? And when does one have to transition from Webster memory care to Borden memory care? If I question kind of 13.
Well, I have regulations that I have to go by, and it just kind of would go more so by the regulations. I mean, there's no clear cut when someone transitions. That's still a gray area. It's case by case situation. And we are a mixed population. So we do handle people with memory impairment. We are not a memory care here, but we do handle people with memory care needs.
So the staffing in Webster, I think, is less, I'm going to use the word intensive than it is in Borden. So does that make a difference just in terms of how much attention you can give to people needing memory care compared to the Borden center?
Well, we go by our staffing. Our staffing ratio is based on the needs of residents. So it's a formula under the DSS guidelines. And people do have, like I said, people do have memory impairments and we do help them. But if they need more assistance, that's when they would move through the continuum. But it's case by case. I don't know if that answers it. It's really, you know, it's a gray area. Yes, Beth.
You can't just wake up and decide, hey, I'm tired of taking care of myself and I want to come go to Webster again.
Absolutely. Come on down. I got 3 open rooms right now. Okay. Okay.
Have a spouse who maybe gets fine physically or cognitively. Don't be afraid of Webster. In my experience, John went there 2 years ago this month. And it was the hardest decision I ever had to make. And then 5 months later, it was felt to be in his best interest for him to go to Borden. That transition was so much easier than if he had gone right from my apartment to Borden. Think about that. It helps your loved ones transition. Webster is more like a home atmosphere. It's not as big a deal. And I know we all want to be martyrs and take care of our spouse as long as we can. But sometimes that may not be the best thing.
All right, that's all I have. Thank you.
Kind of hard to follow that, really. But this is C&E I'm going to talk about. And since our leader is off gallivanting all over, you have me today. Tonight the dining out group is going to go to Devil's Backbone. The bus is filled. Of course, tomorrow is the anniversary party. And then the 18th is a rescheduled baseball game. It was stormed out last time. We're certainly hoping it's not stormed out this time. There's still space on the bus, but for tickets, you can check with Sylvia Gurgis, or you can go on the bus and just take your chances at the gate. Then on Saturday, it's a summer showcase at the VMI Community Theater. And there are 4 one-act plays there. Just cost $5. But our own Kevin Kavanaugh is one of the ones in the one-act plays. We have a couple seats left still on that bus. Then on Wednesday, next Wednesday, the Garth Newell emerging artists are coming. And there are 11 young string players and pianists. So that should be good. When I say young, I don't mean children, I mean young adults. And then on the 26th, we're going to Guys and Dolls at the Attic Theater in Fincastle. Bus leaves at 1 o'clock. We still have room on the bus for that. Tickets are just $15 plus $5 for the bus. And that's always such a fun musical. I know I love it. And information on all this is on the bulletin board. Then a couple things in August that we do not have anything on the board yet. We're going out to Garth Newell on the 17th. They're having a concert there that's called Keyboard Friends. And after listening to the emerging artists, that would be fun to actually go out there. And then on the 19th, we're going to have our own Catherine Brown come and talk about Slovakia. And I know we always enjoy her lectures. Of course, we have games every Saturday in the cafe at 1:30. And streaming concerts every Saturday at Sunnyside Patio. That's at 8 o'clock. And then we have streaming events every Sunday at 3 p.m. in Kendall Hall. So any questions on any of this? Good. Thank you.
Not going to fit behind the microphone here, so I hope I can speak loud enough so you all hear me. I'm glad to announce that Kendall College is about to meet again in August. Our lecturer will be Dr. Ashley Smythe. She is the head of the biology department, professor and head of the biology department at the VMI, and also the Gottwald endowed shareholder in academic excellence. She'll be speaking on megatones. Amazing little animals that probably none of you have ever heard about. There'll be more about this in the upcoming August issue of Connections. You'll be able to read about her more and also about what nematodes are. But if you have any questions about this, come to the lectures and she'll answer them. And these lectures will be on the 6th, the 13th, and the 20th of August here at 4:30 in Kendall Hall.
Hi, I'm Sue Pifo, and I'd like to ask residents for help with landscape maintenance. As all of you know, parts of our landscape have weeds and other problems. And we, this year, there was a lot of problems with mulching, and that was due to equipment failures, both in the place we get the mulch from and here. And hopefully mulch is being spread in the last few places now. But what I'm really asking for is residents to volunteer to take on a small zone and do the maintenance of that zone themselves or as part of a team. It can be a very small area. We want this to be non-bureaucratic. We'd just like you to let us know that you want to do that. And it should be a place you walk by all the time. So if you see a piece of crabgrass, you can pull it out. If the job involves too much work, too much physical work for you to do, I'm sure maintenance will help you dig out a tree or something like that. But a lot of people, or not a lot of people, but a number of people already do this. I do a couple zones and other people do also. We'll never really have enough money, unfortunately, to have maintenance do all this. The landscape budget is small and costs have gone up. And so the maintenance people are stretched really thin. The Horticulture Committee is going to ask that the operations budget for maintenance be increased because it really is, landscape maintenance be increased because it really is too small. We have plenty of people who are willing to help you decide if something is weed or not, or if some plant is desirable or not, or to make choices if you want to replace something. We have, let's see, 5 members of our committee who've already volunteered: Sue Norris, AP Smith, Renata Chapman, Heather Marion, and myself. We have master gardeners in Lexington. I think there are over 100. And these people are plenty willing to come to your place and help you make decisions concerning landscape. I'm a master gardener. Heather Marion is also in Vivi Mokel. And so we're resident, but the other people, we have a lot of other people who have this knowledge. So don't feel like you're alone. There's a Picture This app for the iPhone, which will help identify plants and weeds. So anyway, I really ask your help. It could be just maybe a 10-foot area near your cluster cottage or something. I'm asking for help with public spaces, not your own private place. And I just don't think that maintenance is ever going to be able to do all you want done. So, and I know some of you are not physically able to do this, but some of you are. And it's great to be outside. Gardening is healthy. There are cool parts of the day, even at this time of year, morning and night after dinner. So AP Smith is going to be in the back to take your name and the name of the area you might be interested in volunteering to take care of. As I said, I do this myself. I enjoy it. I do the south entrance and the pots in front of Borden. And I think you'll enjoy having people come by and thank you for what you're doing. And it can be pleasure. It can be a pleasure. you know, it's a little work and you might think Kendall can pay for everything, but then you don't want your fees to go up. So it's a real challenge. Nobody wants their fees to go up. And maintenance is time consuming, but if you do it bit by bit, it can be a pleasure. And hopefully next year, the mulch will be there early. And if the mulch is there early, the weeds are much diminished. And then it's just a maintenance, ongoing maintenance, which doesn't take that much time. When I walk up the hill to my cottage on Sunrise Ridge, I usually pull a piece of crabgrass out of the plantings near the dumpster. And it just, you know, it just becomes habit forming.
Thank you, Sue.
Okay. Any questions? Yes, Carol?
People in the south entrance garden, they should go and see how lovely it is.
Thank you. Carol says people should go and see how lovely the south entrance garden is. I took it over because it was just a mess. I couldn't stand looking at it. And I walked by there, you know, when I went to the fitness center. Yes. The maintenance, I think the people will pick up piles on Fridays, if I recall. Yeah. Yeah, or just let me know and I can, if it's a problem. And yeah, the answer is yes, but a lot of the refuse just goes into the trash bins, unfortunately. It doesn't go into a compost pile. So if you want to put it in a trash bin, that's fine too. Okay.
Morning. I'm Donna Bradish, and I'm here to talk about the craft fair once again, and primarily the hands-on table. We like to have folks contribute what they can to the hands-on table, things that you've made. All the proceeds from the hands-on table go to the Staff Appreciation Fund. And even if you have your own table for selling your items, you can still donate some of your proceeds to the hands-on table too. And we'd appreciate that. But if you want ideas of what to make, there's a table right outside Kendall Hall that we set up yesterday with things some of us have made. So you can take a gander at those, see if they ring a bell with you, or see if they might make you think of something else. It's easy to make, and it's fun to get together and make things. So just asking a little bit of help for that. Thank you.
We heard a lot about the bring your own cup thing that we're working on, and I would like to see how many of you here brought your own cup. Look at that. Pretty darn good. I hope we can carry this on as a tradition here, not only for the Residents Association meetings, but also, you know, when you come and get a cup of coffee, or it doesn't have to be coffee, even if it's a cold drink, you can drink that in a cup, so that we're not using so many paper cups. Jen's still here. I did come up with a question. Can people bring their own wine glass tomorrow? Sure. There you go. Another way to get rid of plastics. Okay, thank you, folks. Okay, that brings us to the end of the established agenda. Anything that needs to come up from the floor? Okay, I think we're done. See you next month.